Ohio State's defense can be nasty, and Beau Atkinson will be a big reason why.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to your Thursday edition of Locked On Buckeyes, which is your daily Ohio State podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, veteran sports talk host, delivering passionate coverage about your Buckeyes. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. During today's show, we will discuss some candidates to wear the Black Gold jersey in 2025, as well as a few Buckeye defenders that might be feeling the pressure. But first, what we saw for a year ago from Ohio State's defense was a lot of fun to watch, and the result was that unit was one of the best ones in the country. They were fast, they were physical, they had a nasty nature about them. And even though the Buckeyes lost 8 defensive starters from a national championship winning team, that does not mean that that side of the ball will not be elite in 2025. And a big reason why that side of the ball might accomplish elite status once again is because of North Carolina transfer Beau Atkinson. Standing at about 6'6", at about 260 pounds, he possesses the height, the length, the mass, the speed, the physicality that is needed to be a disruptor on the defensive line, and that's exactly what the Buckeyes defense needs to be elite once again. You need a guy up front or a few of them to be disruptors, and that's what Beau Atkinson is. I love guys out of run a defense that disrupt things. I mean, this kind of goes it's kind of a self-explanatory thing. You want guys on your defense that can disrupt. Maybe a linebacker that could go sideline to sideline and disrupts things in the short to intermediate passing game. Maybe it's a safety like a Caleb Downs who can play either the deep safety or play wannabe Mike linebacker, or can be right there in the slot, over the slot receiver, there to stop the run. You want guys that can be disruptors, but when you're talking about a disruptor on defense, you need them up front. You need them big boys on the D-line to be disruptors, to piss off the opposition, because they realize they can't move these dudes. And Beau Atkinson is not so much a 310, 325, 330 D tackle. He ain't that. He is the edge rusher that Ohio State desperately needed, or the kind of edge rusher Ohio State desperately needed this year. And it's amazing that they got him in the portal. A couple years at North Carolina. Also, this is not anything new. I just want to talk about what Beau Atkinson can be this year. I'm hype on a lot of guys. Caden Curry, Keanu Jackson Jr., being a couple Buckeyes that have been there for a while that are now getting the turn to shine the scarlet and gray. I'm high on a lot of guys on defense, but there's a guy in Atkinson that Ohio State, yeah, they show interest in them at times, but sometimes they don't get them. The Caleb Downs situation is completely different because you had a coach retire. Oh, he wants to go to Georgia. But then Ohio State, Jim Knowles and the other coaches went down there to Georgia and gave a pitch to Downs that he decided to cut off the enrollment process to Georgia to come to Ohio State. So Ohio State's been trending in a better way to get guys of this caliber. And I ain't saying Atkinson is a Downs type of player. I ain't saying that. I am just saying the impact that Atkinson is going to provide this year is going to be immediate. And he's one of those transfers, similar to a Max Clair, that did big things at his previous stop in last season and will do big things once again. 7.5 sacks last year at North Carolina for Atkinson, 12 TFLs, 35 total tackles. The one number among those 3 I just mentioned that kind of sticks out to me in a big way is 12 tackles for loss. We saw Tuimoloau and Sawyer in the playoff last year be disruptors, and they were in the backfield a lot, either getting sacks or getting tackles for loss, whatever the case may be. They're back there over and over and over and over again, disrupting the opponent's offense. And it wasn't like they were making plays downfield getting all these tackles. No, they were stacking up the tackles. A lot of them were behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, you got Caden McDonald. Yeah, you got Edric Houston. Yeah, Tyrone Malone Jr. is still there too. You got a lot of really good guys on this team. But one of the biggest questions about the defensive line this year, as we head getting deeper into the postseason, or excuse me, in the offseason, was who's going to replace the starting four on the D line? That's a question I had. We thought we knew who was going to replace them. And then it got a little bit trickier because we were trying to project the type of production that those replacements are going to provide. And we didn't have a lot of us didn't have an answer. I'm not going to say you didn't. There are some of you out there that are very, very smart. You're trying to sit there and calculate with your pen and paper and all of the notes in your brain and all the film you've watched to say, this guy is going to produce this way and that guy is going to produce that way. If you can do that, great. I can't. I'm a pretty smart guy, I think, at times. I can't do everything. And this is one of them. You wanted to get a guy on defense, on the D line, that had some experience doing big things. Not just experience, oh, he's done a little bit of things. He's done a couple things. Oh, he's the kind of guy. No, that's got experience. I mean, think about the Buckeyes defense aside from them acquiring Atkinson in the portal about a month ago. You would have had Caleb Downs at safety, Igman Olsen at corner, Sonny Styles at linebacker, and then a bunch of other guys that are ready to step up into bigger roles, but they can only lead us so much. Downs and Igman Olsen and Styles, they can lead the defense, but they don't have experience playing D-line. They don't have the adequate reps at that position to discuss some things in a nerd-type way from their own experience playing the position to a McDonald or a Houston or a Jackson Jr. or a Curry or even a Zion Grady, a true freshman coming in. They don't have that. They don't have the ability to do that. So if you are a team, if you're a coach trying to go into a year and you know you're losing your starting four on the D-line, you're trying to push and do everything you can to try to get a starter or try to get somebody in the portal that has some really good experience, that has some winning traits about them to allow that player to help be a leader in that room. Not only be a leader, but to play and to contribute on the field. And Larry Johnson got that. There's been a lot of conversations about Larry Johnson. We're going to have them here. And I don't think these are bad conversations to have. They're just reality about the situation that sometimes Larry Johnson doesn't get all the guys we think he should get. It's not a breaking news. We don't need a siren to come in and blow through your speakers because of what you just heard. It's the reality. Larry Johnson and Ohio State have struggled to recruit D linemen over the past few years. But if you want to talk about a way to turn the tide or to turn the page to a new way of doing things, this is it. I mean, it was very similar to a year ago with Ryan Day's activity in the portal. Yeah, you know he needs to go out there and get guys. Did you really think he was going to get a Will Howard, a Julian Sand, Seth McLaughlin, Will Merrick, Caleb Downs? Do you really think Ryan Day was going to go out there no, you didn't. But what happened? Ryan Day turned the page, looked forward, had a different mindset, same direction, but a different way to get there. I'm here for it. And I think for Ohio State this year, for them to be an elite defense once again, like they were last year, the path or the goal is the same: win the national championship. But maybe your path is a little bit different because the roster is different. The roster makeup is different. The inexperience on the roster is a whole lot different than normal. So do something a little bit different. And you got a guy that can help the Buckeyes not only have an elite defense in the fall, but a guy that could be a disruptor on the defensive line as well. While Atkinson could be a disruptor on the defensive line, there might be some guys you're going to be playing with in the fall that are currently feeling a little bit of pressure. I'll dive into those guys next. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better moment to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off, and they also have some live player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. New to FanDuel? Well, it's a perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Man, that's so good, I got to say it again. New to FanDuel? It's the perfect time to sign up. Head to fanduel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thank you all for tapping in a lot on Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. Beau Atkinson's impact in the Buckeyes defense will be felt early in the year, and I am just going to make a projection now. It will be felt week 1 against Texas in a good way. Not a negative impact, but a positive impact. But while he's making a positive impact on the Buckeyes defense, there are some of his teammates, also some of his running mates, that might be feeling a little bit of pressure right now. One of them, Caleb Downs. Another one, Sonny Styles. Another one, Dave Sigmanosin. And what do all three of those guys have in common? They were starters on the Buckeyes defense, on the Buckeyes on the national championship, and they are the only returning starters from that unit a year ago. And while that is true about them, they are the returning starters from a national championship winning defense, that might cause some guys to feel a little bit of pressure. Put yourself in their shoes for a little bit of time. You won the Natty. You're great. The next time you're on the field, if I'm Caleb Downs, for example, I'll look out there on the D line. Those are 4 different numbers. I look at my 2 LBs. Those are 2. Just one. That's a different number. Look at the guys that are in my room, in the safety room. The guy next to me. Well, homie played a little bit last year, but he ain't Lathan Ransom. Look at my corners on either side. Okay, IGB, I got you. We still weren't rocking the number 1. Okay, cool. You good. Others. Oh, that's 24. He played a little bit, but that ain't Denzel Burnt. Look at the guy covering that slot receiver. Hold on, man. That's Styles Jr.? Man, what is going on here? All the guys I was with, they gone to the next level. That's college football, but also that could cause a Downs or a Styles or an IGB to feel pressure to not only produce in the fall, but to try to get these guys up to speed quick, fast, and in a hurry. It's easier said than done, though. We've all been there. We've all been in situations where we were in a room with a lot of people that did a lot of really good things with us, maybe at a job or in school. The next thing you know, they're gone. Think about a guy when you're in school. Let's go back a little bit. Graduation time around the country. You were in high school. You were a junior. But a lot of your friends, when you were a junior, they were seniors. So you went to some of the parties and you did some of the things with some of the guys you played football or basketball with, maybe whatever sport or extracurricular activity you were a part of. A lot of those guys or girls you hung out with, they were seniors. So next thing you know, first day of school, your senior year, you're all hyped, you're excited. Then you look around at the common area. Johnny was over there last year, but Johnny's off in college. My buddy was over here last year, but he's off doing his thing in trade school. I know that girl I used to flirt with. She's in college too. And you looking around like, all my boys, everybody y'all hung out with, they're all gone. And that could be a tough mental place for you to be when you realize my running mates aren't here. But one of the best things I think about this unit and these 3 guys specifically was something that happened earlier this year in March. Buckeyes started spring ball, and they go out there. They see the national championship winning banners hung up there in the Woody, and they're all excited. But all of a sudden, some of those older guys, not even just these 3 that I'm talking about, Caden Curry being one of them, said, "Hey, take that banner down." Yeah, we won that thing. We were part of that. But a lot of the other guys, they weren't a part of that. They were here, but they weren't playing on the field. So we got to reteach the culture. We teach them. We try to describe the culture in recruiting and do some things when someone's in the portal to get them to come in. But you don't truly know the culture about being a Buckeye until you're in that locker room. You don't truly know the product of what needs to be produced when you're being a Buckeye until you're there. You don't know what it means to lose your black stripe until you've gone through the ringer a couple of times, done a few of them mat drills, you don't know. And so for these guys to feel a little pressure, yeah, they're going to feel pressure, but also they got the minds right. They're keeping the main thing the main thing. And it's fun looking out there and hearing people talk about these players going out and talking to coaches saying, no, take that down. We're taking ownership of this program, and we're going to make sure that we teach the culture, not our culture, Buckeye culture. And I am here for that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. And think about what's going to happen against Texas or against Penn State or against fill in the blank school that Ohio State's playing in the fall. When the pressure is mounting in a game, when the rubber meets the road, and you need someone out there that's gone through a little bit, has some battle wounds, has some scars, has some things that they've had to deal with to make them the players that they are, and all of a sudden one of them youngsters is looking up and looking around and saying, hey man, I'm between a rock and a hard place. This is tough. This is difficult. And you can look over there, look at your buddy and say, it's difficult now, but here's my experience. Here's what you've done already that has shown me that you got the goods to get it done. And you start taking that buddy back through all them drills, all them practices, all them weights you lifted, all them sprints you're running, all the push-ups you're doing to realize, hey man, we've been here. We've done that. And we can do it again. So, yes, I do 100% believe that there is some pressure these guys might be feeling. However, the pressure they might be feeling, it ain't bad. It's what's needed. You as a player need these moments and need these opportunities to feel a little pressure, to realize you need to step up in a big way, not just with your play, but with your leadership and your voice, so that when it comes down to big time against Texas or big time against Michigan or big time against Penn State, big time against anybody, you realize, I know that my experience doesn't match a Downs or a Styles or an Igman. That's great. My ability to get the job done is here. And I'm going to go out there and tackle this thing to the best of my ability. And the best of my ability is to stop Homie on 3rd and 4 when he's trying to get 7, but we only allow him to get 2. To stop Homie on 2nd and 10 where you stuffed them on 1st down, but you need to stuff them again on 2nd down because there's 2.5 minutes left and they are in plus territory striving to score on you once again. Why is it so important for these guys to feel pressure? Because if you feel pressure now, it's going to help you be better in the fall. Only if you respond correctly to it. So people fold under pressure. I literally heard a story recently, and I'm going to close up shop after this, of old school basketball. I never tried out for a basketball team in my life. I realized once I got to middle school, I was too short to play. Also wasn't good enough to play, but really look out there. Man, these dudes is tall, they fast, they run. I didn't have any of them skill sets, so I didn't even try. But I talked recently. I talked recently about I heard someone talk recently about old school basketball tryouts, sophomore year of high school. They're talking about, and them walking to a bulletin board after the final practice during a tryout to see the list of players that made the team. 12 spots, 12 names. And you walk up there and you realize, man, my name's there, I'm good. But then you walk up there, you don't see your name, but you're looking at it around all your boys and all your friends and all your peers that you are trying to beat out for a spot on the team. And when your good buddies, they go out there and see their name on the list, they all hype, and then you realize your name isn't there. Well, that very thing, not seeing your name there, could cause some guys to fold under pressure and to feel some unneeded guilt because they didn't make the team. And some guys fold. Some guys aren't made for that type of stuff. But these Buckeyes, the ones I just named, Igman, Downs, and Styles, not only are they built for the pressure and ready to tackle the pressure, I believe they've already done some great things to help the Buckeyes in the fall to overcome the lack of continuity from Ohio State's defense from a year ago. Downs is great. There's some other guys on Ohio State's team that are great too, that will play defense this year. But are any of them candidates to wear the Block O jersey in the fall? I'll unveil my candidacy list next. Thank y'all for tapping Locked on Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. That might be the first time I said candidacy here on the show. I don't even really say candidates like that, but candidacy, sure. 3 times in one show, man. Let's mark this one down, put it, document it, maybe on the social media apps. But yeah, a candidacy 4 times. It's not normally a word I use on the show, but I feel like right now you have players that I believe are ideal candidates to wear the Blanco jersey. Here's the interesting thing about the Blanco. This is a Blanco jersey that goes to a player that embodies everything that a player should embody to be a Buckeye. Generally, it's a 4 or 5 year guy that's been around for a little while. That has done a lot of great things at Ohio State. I don't have the full list right here in my notebook, so forgive me. But off the top of my head, Jonathan Cooper, I believe, was the first Buckeye to wear the Blanco jersey. Thayer Munford wore it. Cam Babb wore it. Cody Simon wore it. I think that's it. I think those are the only players that have worn the Blanco jersey. If there's one more, forgive me. Off top of my dome, I can't think of another one. But all those guys were in their final year of playing football at Ohio State. And so I think about this list this year about guys that can be the guys that wear the Blanco jersey. Before I get unveil my complete list, one of them I think will be a great candidate is Austin Serveld. But he's only a redshirt sophomore. So that's not an option for him. Another one that I think would be a great candidate to wear the Blanco jersey, Luke Montgomery. Been a Buckeye for 3 years, done a lot of great things. Going to start this year. Carson Hinsman as well, redshirt junior. But they got more eligibility left, and I don't think those guys have a strong enough argument over some of the other guys we're going to mention later. A few other guys that I think would be great, but probably, I mean, can't. Jermaine Matthews Jr. was another name that I just saw that I don't want to dive into just yet. But Cam Babb didn't start at Ohio State. He had an injury-filled career that allowed him to score his first touchdown during his senior season, final year at Ohio State, while wearing the Blanco jersey. So it was on senior day. I mean, just the moment was special. If you were able to be there in the stadium, it was a special moment for him and for all the fans in attendance. There are 3 guys that I think are ideal candidates to wear the Blanco jersey. Only one of them I think is going to actually get an opportunity to win it. Caden Curry, I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit on this too. Caden Curry, Caleb Downs, Will Kazmarek, and Sonny Styles. Caden Curry entering his 4th year as a Buckeye, final year wearing the scarlet and gray. Caleb Downs is a true junior who everyone believes is going to declare for the NFL draft at the end of the 2025 season. Will Kazmarek, final year playing college football. Believe this is going to be his 5th year playing the ball at this level. But he was a transfer from Ohio. He was a former Bobcat. And so I think just out of that alone, because I don't think Ryan Day is going to name a transfer hand the Blanco jersey over to a transfer. So I got him on the list. I think he's a great candidate. Will Kazmarek, take him out. Caleb Downs, take him out. Then it's just down to 2. Between Caden Curry and Sonny Styles. I think the obvious choice out of these 2 is Sonny Styles. Let's just start back to his story. He reclassified. He's literally playing up a level, a grade, because he's supposed to be a true junior in the upcoming year. But he left high school early. He basically skipped the senior year of high school, played a freshman, sophomore, junior, had a position change too, transferred from safety to playing linebacker. And what do you find about Sonny Styles? He embodies everything: the grit, the determination, the perseverance, the other qualities that Ryan Day looks for in a Blanco jersey recipient. He embodies those to a T. So it has to be Sonny Styles. Because honestly, we look up and down this list about guys that are going to play or guys that have maybe be backups, but hadn't really played a while. I'm going to rule every transfer out of this conversation for the rest of this show. Dave Sigmund-Olsen, final year playing college football, but he was a transfer along with Lorenzo Styles Jr. I would not put them over Caden Curry, Caleb Downs, or Sonny Styles to be guys that could wear the Blanco jersey. Jermaine Matthews Jr., Malik Hartford, Jalen McClain, Arvell Reese, K-Jack, Edric Houston, Caden McDonald. I mean, you see, while Tywell Malone Jr. has dealt with some stuff while at Ohio State, and he is a transfer in his final year in Columbus, I don't think he's done enough to be a recipient for that award. On the offensive side of the ball, James Peoples, Julian Sand, Ian Moore, Josh Padilla, Jeremiah Smith, Connell Tate, Brandon Ennis, Ethan Nawa. Ethan Nawa just got on campus. Philip Daniels just got on campus. And so, like, some of the names I'm listing, they can play college football in 2026. They might not be done playing college football at the end of this year. And so it's one of those weird years where you're losing a lot of your top end talent. The guys that are replacing them, a lot of them have more time to play where they could play as starters literally in 2025 and in 2026, which makes me excited about what 2026 could be. Not only because you could get a 2-year starter out of this current QB battle, but also at other positions. Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, man. But Sonny Styles, to me, easy candidate, easy choice, no question. They could hand the thing out right now. I know Ryan Day is going to wait until the fall to hand the thing out. But when you think about Sonny Styles in his career at Ohio State, going from reclassifying, he literally skipped the senior year of high school. He's a little younger than the average senior now. 6'4", 240, 220, I don't know, around there. Came in, played safety, moved to linebacker, kind of had a do whatever it takes to get on the field mindset, which I am here for every day of the week and twice on Sunday. If you are a player that is doing whatever it takes to get on the field, and the coaches see that, not only having that mindset, but having the skill set as well to legitimately get on the field, you have to love that. You have to love players that are all in, that buy in, and have no sign of backing away, no sign of changing. That's Sonny Styles. So I know Ryan Day is not going to announce who's going to wear the Blanco jersey on May 29th. That'll be done around his peers at the end of a practice where Ryan Day discusses the tradition he started, why he started it, what the recipient that wears a jersey needs to be as a player and as a person, and then he's going to hand that jersey out to them. Also, with the benefit of it going to Sonny Styles, he can wear the number. Thayer Mumford is the only player that got the Blanco jersey. They could not wear that number during a game. He could wear it in warm-ups. His warm-up had the 0 number on it, but in the game, 75, I think, was his number. He couldn't wear it. Just offensive lineman could not wear the number. It was a receiver number. So Sonny Styles can wear it. I'm glad it's him. A guy that me personally, just going to share a little insight about me and some conversations I have with my dad. I have never been a fan at all of any athlete. I don't care how good you are of reclassifying to skip school. I would be more like I'm more okay with the skipping school, like skipping your senior year to reclassify to get to college early than a kid that goes to prep school. And I don't even like the whole prep school thing. If you go to prep school, think of all the people you are leaving in your hometown, especially if you go to a prep school at the end of your junior year. Literally talked to a local parent about this recently, about going to a prep school after your junior year, or you're going to go to a different school. All those memories, all your friends you've known your entire life, and all of a sudden, what are you going to do? Focus on your career? High school athletics. I get the prep school thing. I understand why people go at the end of their junior years to go to somewhere else. I get it. Think about the memories. Think about the people you've grown up with. Think about the lasting impact those moments will have on your life for the rest of time. Back to the conversation. Sonny Styles, candidate to wear the Blanco jersey, the ideal candidate. And I'd be shocked, absolutely shocked, if Ryan Day picked somebody else to wear that number. Thank you all for tapping Locked On Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. For your second listen, check out the portal, because my guy Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape. Find the portal and Locked On Buckeyes on the YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow me on any social media platform or jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317@gmail.com. It's something Locked on Buckeyes right here on a Thursday. We'll see you next time.